Legendary jazz musician Charlie Parker was born Charles Christopher Parker Jr. on August 29, 1920, in Kansas City, Kansas. His father was an African American stage entertainer, and his mother was a maid charwoman of Native American heritage. Kansas City was a lively center for African American music, including jazz, blues, and gospel. Charlie discovered his own talent for music through taking lessons at public school. As a teen, he played the baritone horn in the school band. By the time he was 15, the alto saxophone was his instrument of choice. While still in school, Charlie started playing with bands on the local club scene. He was so enamored of playing the sax that in 1935 he decided to drop out of school in pursuit of a full time musical career. There are two versions for where his nickname came from. The first one is possible. It was just said that he's free as a bird. The second sounds more plausible to me. He accidentally hit a chicken, otherwise known as a yard bird, while driving on tour with the band. But there's still definitely no answer to which one is the truth. In 1942, burgeoning jazz musician Dizzy Gillespie and Thelonious Monk saw Parker perform with McShann's band in Harlem, and they were impressed by his unique playing style. Later that year, Parker signed up for an 8-month gig with Earl Hines. Then, in 1944, Parker joined the Billy Eckstine Band. The year 1945 proved to be a landmark year for Parker. At this stage in his career, he's believed to have become into his maturity as a musician. For the first time, he became the leader of his own group, while also performing with Dizzy Gillespie on the side. At the end of that year, the two musicians launched a 6-week nightclub tour of Hollywood. Together, they managed to invent an entirely new style of jazz, commonly known as bop or bebop. After the joint tour, Parker stayed in Los Angeles, performing until the summer of '46. In 1949, Parker made his European debut at the Paris International Jazz Festival and went on to visit Scandinavia in 1950. Meanwhile, back at home in New York, the Birdland Club was being named in his honor. In March of '55, Parker made his last public performance at Birdland a week before his death. Throughout his adult life, Parker's battle with heroin addiction, alcoholism, and mental illness caused turbulence in his career and personal relationships. By the time of his first marriage in '36, he had already started abusing drugs and alcohol. The couple had 2 children before divorcing in '39, and in 1942 he remarried, but financial stresses caused a rift between the couple, and Parker turned to heroin for an escape. He ended up leaving his second wife not long after they were married. In June of 1947, while performing solo in Los Angeles, Parker had to cut his tour short when he suffered a nervous breakdown and was committed to a mental hospital where he stayed until January of '47. Newly clean in 1948, Parker married for a third time, but the marriage fell apart in less than a year when Parker started using again. His heroin abuse only increased after the divorce. In early 1950s, Parker took on a live-in girlfriend. Together, they had 2 children, a daughter who lived for only 2 years, and a son who was born a year and a day before Parker's death. To make matters worse, in 1951, Parker was arrested for heroin possession and had his cabaret card revoked, which meant he couldn't perform in New York nightclubs. By the time he got the card back, a year later, his reputation was so damaged that club owners still refused to let him play. Drug-addled and depressed, Parker tried to take his own life twice in 1954 by drinking iodine. Although he survived both attempts, his physical and mental health was greatly deteriorated. In 1955, Parker was visiting New York and he suffered an ulcer attack and refused to go to the hospital. On March 12, 1955, Charlie Parker died of lobar pneumonia and the devastating effects of long-term substance abuse. Charlie Parker had many tragedies in his life, but let's choose to remember all of the great music that he left behind for us. If you want to check out his life story, there was a movie called Bird, and it starred Forrest Whitaker as Charlie Bird Parker. Check it out. Thanks so much for watching Jazz Appreciation Month. Salute to Charlie Bird Parker. Bye for now.